Hello and welcome back to another post game, this time for Avicii Invector. It's a game that came out probably in December. For those of you ready to type into the comments, no, this game came out way before that, you would also be correct, as there was a game originally called Invector that came out maybe a couple of years ago or a year ago, something like that, that had Avicii stuff in it, who's the DJ who has passed away now. But this is kind of the re-release called Avicii Invector. It has new songs, new graphics, new kind of little visual flares and whatnot. For those who don't know, it's a rhythm game. It's kind of unique in a way that it's got three different areas where it's like a triangle, square, and circle area. Where one area has you moving between different sides of a triangle, which is actually kind of the hardest because you have to move between different areas of the triangle while also hitting each of the notes. It can kind of get disorienting a little bit. Square area is a little bit easier, where you're just got one solid plane, and it's more of a rock band Guitar Hero kind of plane, where it's more just a straight line. It's more for the heavier beats, when the game's really thumping and whatnot. So it's kind of cool. Then lastly, there's a circular area where you can kind of just fly around, and you just go through and fly through circles. It's not as bad as Superman 64 or whatnot, but it's kind of neat where you kind of hit. It's kind of, well, I guess I'll just say it's kind of when the song's transitioning from one chorus or one stanza to another. That's kind of where that fits in. But yeah, it's got 25 songs. I think it's a really good track list. I'm a fan of Avicii. Even it was probably about Levels that I really started hearing about him, which I'm sure a lot of people did, as well as the Wake Me Up song was pretty big. So pretty much most of the songs are pretty catchy. There's a lot of songs in here that I didn't really care for, just listening to them on their own. But then actually when I started playing the game, I actually thought man, I'm actually going to go back and listen to these songs. And I did. And I actually like them even more now. There's the classics like Wake Me Up and Levels. And Without You, there's just some good ones. I really like the inclusion of songs like Sunset Jesus and I Could Be the One. Those are really good songs, in my opinion, some of my favorites. Would have liked songs like Silhouettes or Dear Boy, which is off the True album. Not Silhouettes, but Dear Boy. I like those songs a lot. I think they would fit really well into this game. But yeah, there's a lot of good songs that I just appreciate way more. There's still some that I wish could have made the cut, but Can't Catch Me, Pure Grinding. Those are really, really good ones that I really enjoy. So there's three difficulty modes. There's the easy, normal, and hard. I would say if you're kind of on easy, it's pretty straightforward where you can get through it with relatively easiness, but you're not really feeling you're really into the game. Normal, I would say, would be the way to go. Sometimes normal can be overwhelming, but it also can be pretty easy at times. And you do have, I'd recommend going on normal for sure. You do also have the hard mode, which can be easy at first. When you first start a song Wake Me Up or Sunset Jesus, where it's starting off kind of slow, it's really pretty easy to get through. You're thinking oh, this could be kind of easy actually. But then once the music actually starts getting going, it can be incredibly hard, and you really have to practice, really know what to do. It's just, yeah, once that music builds, it can be nuts. So with the 25 levels, there is in the single player mode, there is minor story beats. There's a story with different cutscenes of some girl traveling through space, and she's looking for a chocolate bar or something like that. It's pretty weird. And then she's listening to the Avicii soundtrack while she's doing it. I think this was in the original release of Invector, so I think it's just something that migrated over to the re-release. It can easily be skipped, but they only last 30 seconds or so. So it's really not anything to write home about. It's one of those things that you kind of wonder why it's even there. But it's short and just puts a little context, I guess, into the graphics and the gameplay and whatnot. And those scenes fit the aesthetic, I think, of the game pretty well. It's a pretty easy platinum. So I'm a platinum hunter. I've almost got like 150 platinum trophies. I know. Um, it's pretty easy in the sense that there's a glitch that can make some of the trophies easier. So like you have a not necessarily a cadence, but like it can measure your latency a little bit, and you can basically set that to like the max, like completely just unimaginable or whatever, and it kind of completely glitches out the game where like it doesn't notice that you're missing notes and whatnot. So all you have to do is like fly through the note rings and basically just sit there and do absolutely nothing for the rest of the level, and it'll say, hey, you've got 100% on hard. It's kind of a pretty cheesy way to do it. So there's certainly a backdoor way to do it, but there are some enjoyable ones. Like I want to say it's like maybe like 1,000,000 or like 100,000 or something like that. Like getting that total score, like from all the levels and all the difficulties combined. That was an enjoyable one that like I was starting to wonder like, oh man, I'm gonna have to start replaying levels. I'm gonna have to start getting higher scores. But then like when I got towards like the last song on all 3 difficulties, I did end up getting that trophy. And I think that might have been one of the last trophies I needed before I got the platinum. So, and there's a good amount of people that have the platinum trophy. It's got a pretty decent percentage on there, and I would say it's enjoyable. I mean, it probably took me maybe 6 to 8 hours, all in all. So while you're playing and you're going through like the different notes, you're hitting square, you're hitting circle, you're hitting X, you're hitting L1 for like kind of like some of the drum beats. You're also using like the D-pad or analog stick to go back and forth. You can get like a multiplier. Let's go with that. It goes up to 4 and kind of, multiplies your score every single time you get a new note. But there is a boost that can be earned by like hitting certain notes that have like a different glow on them. And once you get that leveled up enough, you can double whatever your multiplier is. So if your multiplier is 2, it goes to 4. But if your multiplier is at 4, you can go to 8. And that's when like the song kind of like speeds up a little bit. Like the graphics, it feels like you're really moving through the track. And that can go up to 8, and you can kind of just, and it's also landlocked at 8. So usually like if you're at 4 and you miss a note, you'll drop down to 3. But once you start that boost, you're basically locked at 8. So even if you miss a note, you're not going to drop multiplier level at all. So I really like that. The game tells you to shake, I'm on PlayStation 4, the game tells you to shake the controller to do a boost, which you can do, and I guess maybe gets you more into it, but you can just hit R2, I think it is, or L2, and you can just do it that manually. Like, and I think you can also turn it off as well, having that 6-axis light bar movement stuff in the game. There's global and friends leaderboards for all 3 difficulties. That's neat. I've got actually a friend or 2 that's also been playing on it. So just, I'm not a big leaderboard guy, but it's neat that it's there. There was some difficulty, like glitches with the leaderboard that I think I saw recently. They've just patched, where like you could just load up the game and it'll say, oh, you're 10th on the leaderboard, but like your score doesn't match anybody else's score. And then like once the game reloads, it's like, oh no, you're like 500th or something like that. Which there's not like a ton of people playing, so like you can actually get kind of like in the hundreds of scores and stuff like that, so you don't feel absolutely terrible. But again, I'm not really that big of a leaderboard guy, so I'm not too concerned about it. So going through the story, each set of songs is kind of separated between like different areas. So you have like a valley area, city, space, there's ice. I really like the visuals, the atmosphere here. The city is probably my favorite, and especially just kind of sitting on the title screen or like one of the like stage selection songs and just kind of hearing that music also going on with the just the visuals of everything. It's, I don't want to say it's like moving or whatnot, but it's really cool. And kind of leads into like another point. I would love this game for like to be in VR. I think of specific games that I would love to be in VR, but I think like being able to look at this like all around, I think would be neat. I really like some of those Sony music things they've put out for VR. So like one of them, I think it was like that Paris song by the Chainsmokers. It's like free. You can, if you have a PSVR, you can go download it. But like I love that kind of like music rhythm stuff, and ashamedly I have not played something like Beat Saber. Or Audica, I think would be really cool. That's kind of, on the list to want to play. But definitely with all the different aesthetics and whatnot, I love the visuals. I think it really got me into it. All the different things that are flying through the space and just kind of background, and it is kind of one of those things that rhythm games have where like you really want to look at the background, but if you take your eyes off the background, even if you look at your multiplier at all, you're probably going to miss the next note if you're just not squarely focused on like what's ahead of you. Other than that, the really last point I had was about quick load times. It's not really anything super to write home about, but it's like a fantastic quality of life thing. So it's like right when you select a song, you are in the song. It's really neat. So like, you know, you feel like oh, now I got to sit in a wait loading screen. You know, you really don't. Like, you can get in and out of track lists very similar and very simply. So I really enjoyed that as well. But yeah, I just wanted to give my quick thoughts on this. This wasn't a crazy game. I ended up getting the physical release of this game. I got it off Amazon. It's $20. I'm a physical kind of guy, so definitely feel like I want to keep playing this even after I've gotten the platinum trophy. I think about just different Avicii songs that I really like, and I feel like I just want to kind of keep coming back to it. And I really like just its song selection. I don't really think we will get any sequel to this or anything like that. I think some of the proceeds of this game benefit the Tim Bergling Foundation, which is Avicii's kind of foundation that was taken in his name. Tim Bergling, after he passed away due to suicide, and I think it helps with mental illness. So if you care about that, I would say absolutely support this game. It might even go on sale at some point on PSN. I do believe it's also on the Nintendo eShop and on Xbox. I'm sure it's probably on PC as well. But yeah, these were just kind of some quick, just jotted down thoughts I had on this. I really like to hear what you guys think of the game. I'm definitely going to kind of go around the internet and see what else the interwebs are talking about it. But other than that, hopefully I'll be back with more post games, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.